Therefore, this expression, this will be between 0 to infinity as well. Okay. Therefore, Q naught squared RC squared into RC upon 2. Am I right? A minus will always be there. A minus sign will be there. Let me apply the limit. E to the power infinity minus e to the power 0. This C can go off. This R will go off to give me minus Q naught squared by 2C anything to the power infinity 0 minus anything to the power 0 1. Is that okay to you? Is that okay to you? Let me rub this part. Okay. Now, this expression now becomes W is equal to Q naught squared upon 2C. Is that okay to you, sir? Is that okay to you, sir? This can also be written as 1 by 2 Q naught into Q naught by C. Q naught is the maximum charge, C is the capacitance, which means I can as well write this as 1 by 2 Q naught by C potential must give me maximum EMF. Therefore, energy dissipated, I get an expression W is equal to 1 by 2 Q naught into E. E stands for EMF. Now, when the capacitor, and you can see this expression for energy dissipated is independent of R. There is no R there. Due to a DC source, the maximum energy will be Q naught E. Due to a DC source, maximum energy is Q naught E. Now, if half Q naught E is the energy dissipated, which means energy stored in the capacitor will be half Q naught E, and energy dissipated is equal to half Q naught E. You add this, you get the total energy. I have derived expression for energy stored as Q squared by 2C. I have also written it as half CV squared. Now, how does this becomes Q naught E from this? For those who are interested in that, 1 by 2 C Q into Q by C. Q naught Q half C. This is V. Therefore, I write 1 by 2 Q V. In my case, the DC source maximum charge, DC source, due to DC source maximum energy is Q naught E. So instead of V, I have written a EMF. Therefore, both are one and the same. You can as well write this as 1 by 2 QE as well. Both are one and the same. Therefore, this is the total energy given by the battery. source, of which half of the energy is stored in the capacitor, the rest half is dissipated. For those who have not understood, this is the expression we derived for charge during charging of a RC circuit. I have differentiated, I have got this expression. If dW is the energy dissipated in the time t, dW is I squared R dt, substituted. Now this expression, if you integrate, you get what is the total energy dissipated. Therefore, I have integrated this, substitute the elements, and finally I have got this expression. Okay, from there. Q naught squared by 2C. So half Q naught by C. Q naught by C is EMF, this is the energy dissipated from a DC source. This is the total energy. Half of the energy is stored, half of the energy is dissipated. Is that okay to you, sir? We will try to see the application of discharge now. Okay? I will rub this off and go into the next topic for discussion. Which is measurement of high resistance by leakage method. Let us try to see what exactly it is. In the case of discharge of a capacitor, I have derived an expression Q is equal to Q naught e to the power minus T by RC. Is that okay to you, sir? Is that okay to you? This is the expression I have derived. Now this Q by Q naught will be equal to e to the power minus T by RC. Okay. In order that this minus sign vanishes, I can write this as Q naught by Q is equal to e to the power T by RC. If I want this exponential to vanish, I will take ln. Ln of Q naught by Q is equal to T by RC. Now from this, I can write an expression R is equal to T upon, okay? T upon C into ln of Q naught by Q. My interest lies only in this equation. What is this equation trying to tell me? C is the capacitance, Q naught is the maximum charge that is stored in the capacitor, Q is the charge at any instant of time during the process of decay or discharge. What I am trying to tell you from this equation is, if you have a method by which you are able to measure what is the maximum charge stored in the capacitor, namely Q naught, and are able to measure the charge Q at any instant of time during decay, and if you know the value of C, certainly the value of R can be determined. If you are not able to follow, let me repeat it once again. If you have a method somehow of which you are able to measure what is the maximum charge Q naught stored in the capacitor, the charge gets discharged for 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, what is the charge? Q. If you can measure it accurately, and if the value of C is known, then the value of R can be calculated. I suppose you have understood. Now, in the case of a RC circuit, time constant T is RC. C is usually in microfarad, that is 10 power minus 6 farad. Therefore, if T has to be of the order of few seconds, sir, please remember, if T has to be of the order of few seconds, then R has to be of the order of megohm. C is usually in microfarad. Microfarad is 10 power minus 6 minus 6 farad. If this value of P has to be of the order of few seconds, definitely R has to be in microfarad. Let R has to be in megohm. Let me give an example. If R is say 15 megohm and the value of C is say 1 microfarad, then T is equal to RC. This will be 15 into 10 power 6 into 1 into 10 power minus 6. This goes off to give me 15 seconds as the time constant of that circuit, which makes me clear that using this expression I will not be able to measure any low resistance, because if low resistance has to be measured, the value of time constant will be so small that I will not be able to measure what is the charge left over after discharge. To enable measure the charge left in the capacitor after discharge, the time constant T has to be of the order of a few seconds. Since C is always in microfarads, R if only is in the order of megohms, time T, the time constant of the circuit, will be of the order of a few seconds. Therefore, this is the reason why I say measurement of high resistance by leakage method. Therefore, you can measure only high resistance and any other resistance can't be measured. Now, let us try to design a circuit for this. Let me rub this off. This is a capacitor to which I connect a battery of EMF E and add tap key. Okay, sir? Let this battery of EMF be E. This key, let me call it as K1. This is a capacitor of capacitance C. Now this, whatever, see, if I close key K1, this capacitor is going to get charged. I need to have provision for the charge stored in the capacitor C to be discharged. So what do I do is, I am introducing a resistance which should be of the order of megohm with Vg, and another tap key. Say this is K2, say this is K3. I have to also include a damping key here. What is the damping effect? What is the damping key? Your teacher who teaches unit 2 will tell you in detail, right? Now this is a circuit I have designed to ensure that I am able to measure high resistance by leakage method. Is that okay to you, sir? Is that okay to you? Okay. Let us try to understand the working of the circuit now. Let us take this example. Supposing I am using a resistance of 15 mega. See, we have to determine this value. For the sake of understanding, I am telling you, for example, if I have taken a value of resistance as 15 mega, if I multiply as R into C and if the value of the capacitance is 1 microfarad, the time constant of the circuit becomes 15 seconds. So what do I do is, I press K1. Please listen, I am telling you the procedure as to how to measure the resistance or by leakage method. I am going to press K1, say for 15 seconds. If I press it for 15 seconds, according to this time constant value, T is equal to ERC equation, this capacitor will get charged to its full capacity. Immediately after 15 seconds get over, I press K2, let us say for 2 seconds. So some charge of this capacitor C will get discharged to resistance R. Immediately after 2 seconds get over, I press K3. The galvanometer, ballistic galvanometer gives me a kick. I note down what is the throw, let it be theta. I suppose you have understood. How do I repeat it? I repeat the experiment again by pressing K1 for 15 seconds. Capacitor gets fully charged. Once it gets fully charged, this time round, I press key K2 for about 4 seconds. Immediately after 4 seconds gets over, I press K3. Whatever remaining charge is there through the capacitor will pass through the ballistic galvanometer. It will give a kick. Again, I note down the throw. I repeat this experiment again by pressing K1 for 15 seconds. Then this K2 for say 6 seconds. Immediately after that, I press K3. Again kick. Similarly, I repeat for 8 seconds. I repeat for 10 seconds. I repeat for 12 seconds. I repeat for 14 seconds. I suppose that when I press it for 14 seconds, after that I press K3, the throw I will get in the ballistic galvanometer will be least. Obviously, maximum charge will have been discharged. Whatever charge is left over in the capacitor will be minimal, and therefore the kick or the throw observed will be less. From this discussion, I can conveniently say the throw I measure is directly proportional to the charge left over. If the throw I take it as theta, it will be directly proportional to the charge left, and also theta naught will be equal to Q naught, the maximum charge. Therefore, I can modify this equation as R is equal to P upon C into ln theta naught by theta. y-axis, time along the x-axis. I will get a straight line. If I take the slope of this curve will give me 1 by RC. Is that okay to you? Slope will give me 1 by RC. Knowing the value of C, R can be determined. This is how I determine the value of R. Exactly. Is that okay to you, sir? This is the application of this equation. Q is equal to Q naught up into e to the power minus T by RC. So there are two more topics left in this particular DC circuits. We will continue that in the next class. Okay? Please go to this. All these derivations are extremely important. Which one will be asked? Which one will not be? You don't know. All these are favorites of any question paper setter. Okay, sir? With this, we stop. Continue in the next class. Until then, bye-bye.